So we're in the truck, we got the trailer hooked up, and we're off to hopefully pick up a new project for the channel. And this time, it's gonna be for my girlfriend, Julia.
You can see the riding on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements.
So I want to introduce you to the new project of the channel. This is going to be Julia's 1979 Ford F-150, and I'm going to input some video of getting it loaded up on the trailer, and then I'll give you guys a walk around. We'll take a look at some of the things that we need to do on this truck. So this truck is in really great shape. It's overall solid around, but it does have some areas that we are going to need to address. And of course, like most of these trucks in these eras, as well as the C10, it does have a little bit of a drip rail issue that we're going to have to address. It doesn't look like it's too major, and it's not as complicated of a seam as the C10. So hopefully this won't be too much of a problem. I'm going to bring you inside here now, and I'm going to show you the interior and just give you a pan around and see what we're working with on the inside. So getting into the cab here now, the bezel is off of it right now, but we do have it, and it is a column shift automatic, C6 automatic. We have a dog leg for the 4-wheel drive, and everything in here is in pretty good shape for the most part. You know, we're gonna need a new dash pad. You know, we got the cracks up in here, and you know, we've got to put the bezel on. Somebody cut this one out to fit an aftermarket radio, which that's gonna be getting out of here. But besides that, everything's pretty solid. We do have some repair up here above the windshield on either side that we need to address, but it doesn't look too major. Should just be able to cut this out, put a little patch in there, and then whenever we fix the drip rail issue, that should hopefully stop anything from growing in the future. If we go over to the other side, you can see the same thing. And those holes to the right there, that's just going to be where the visors will go. So whenever we get those put back up, that hole will be closed out. Needs a new windshield, but that's no big deal. Door panels and everything are in pretty good shape, as well as all the paint on the dash. It is a factory AC truck, which is nice. It's not currently hooked up. That will probably be something that we'll address here in the future. And then we just have a bench seat. Pretty plain Jane, but classic. So working our way under the hood, we have a 351 modified, which supposedly was recently refreshed. We're gonna need to go in here, rebuild this carburetor. It's got a boat tank in the bed of this truck right now. So we're gonna have to address the fuel system, go through all that. And like I had mentioned, it's a C6 automatic truck, 4-wheel drive. And then we'll get underneath, we'll take a look at the axles and some of the other things that we need to work with. As far as under the hood, we're gonna probably need to replace this hood. If you look over here, the hood's got some rot to it, which is probably going to be best to just replace it as opposed to trying to fix that, but we'll cross that bridge whenever we get there. So I'm going to get you guys underneath the truck and walk around, show you some of the body things that we need to address, as well as some of the axles and whatnot. So overall, the body's in really great shape. Somebody did come through and put like Rhino liner, bed liner on the whole truck, which is going to be a whole lot of fun to strip off whenever we go to do the body work on this truck, and then eventually we want to repaint it. But overall, everything's pretty straight, in good shape. Obviously need to redo all the seals on the windows and the weather stripping and whatnot, but cab corners are super solid. Same thing with the rockers, not a spot on them. Bottoms of the doors are in great shape. Same thing with the bed. We got some holes in here. That just looks like probably trim. You have to fill in the holes. We're not planning on putting the trim back in the dent. It's gonna need to have new markers put in. Probably a lot of the wiring is gonna have to be replaced there. But all in the back's pretty solid here as well. We have a little bit of rust through here in this back corner. We'll probably put a patch in there to replace it. Tailgate, somebody obviously put a new one on there with intentions of replacing the other one. This one I think is probably going to be a little too far gone. This will end up as some really cool wall art, because you see somebody got in here and started doing some Bondo magic on there. Coming around to the other side, it's more of the same. This back bottom of the bed is in great shape. Up here in the front, this is going to need to get a new piece grafted into here. That's no big deal. Other side, same thing with the cab corner, totally solid, as well as the rocker and the bottom of the door. So for being as old as it is, you know, being a 79, the fact that this is in such solid shape is really great to see. You know, a lot of these trucks are rust buckets from this year, this era, just being as old as they are. This door on the outside doesn't open up. You need to open it from the inside, but it's more of the same. You know, there's a little bit of Bondo up at the roof that we need to get stripped out, and we'll get it fixed properly. And then same thing with the drip rail. Working our way underneath, we're working with the 9-inch rear end in this truck, which is super solid, except for the fact that this one's not. The yoke melted out of here is what we were told, so we're definitely going to have to do something with this center section. The truck did come with another rear end for it, but I was working on it a little bit, trying to get it to rotate, and it seems like it might be locked up. So I'm probably going to end up pulling this center section out and seeing what exactly is going on here, and we may pull the center section out of the other one, third member, and put it in here, or we might get a new one. Remains to be seen. So, but that's definitely going to be the plan. Awesome, these trucks had 9-inch rear ends in them. I didn't realize that. I thought they all came with the 8/8s, except for like the F250s and the higher trim or heavier duty trucks. So awesome that this is in here. We'll get moving up to the front. Moving up to the front, we're working with a Dana 44 front axle in this truck. I don't know what the gear ratio currently is. Whenever I get the third member pulled out of that rear end, I'll take a look at the ring and pinion and see what we're working with. And I'll obviously relay that to you guys whenever we get to that point. Obviously, we're going to have to get that done before this truck is running and driving. We also need to get, I forgot to mention, a new drive shaft made up for this truck. There is part of it, the one half, it's a slip shaft. It's in the bed of the truck as well, but it's in kind of rough shape. I think it'd just be best off to go ahead and work from scratch to get a new one put in, especially since this truck is lifted. And speaking about the lift in this truck, I believe this currently has a 4-inch lift in it. It's showing its age, so we're probably going to go ahead and put a whole new lift in it. Probably still stick with a 4-inch lift, and it has a 3-inch, 2 or 3 inch, I think it's a 3-inch body lift on the truck that eventually we're going to be taking out, and we're just going to put it back to the stock height, because wherever the way that the bumpers land on the truck with the body being up higher, it just kind of looks goofy in my opinion. So we'll get that dropped back down to the factory height and on new cab mounts, body mounts, whatever. So I'm really excited to bring this new project to the channel. Very excited for Julia. I know that she's been wanting a dent side for quite some time, so I'm happy that we were able to find one in as good a shape as this truck is, and something that we were fortunately able to afford. So this is going to give us a wider range of the builds that we do on the channel. We have more 4x4 stuff that's coming, but we also have this truck. And then if you're into the lowered C10 stuff, we also have that, as well as more shop videos to come. So if you guys have any interest, follow us on Instagram as well. We started that page. That's Barn Built Fabrications. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, please do. It means a lot, and it helps out the channel so we can grow. And the more we grow, we can have bigger builds and get more content out to you guys. So thank you guys all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and you're going to stick around with us as we get these builds going. So get outside, get wrenched on something, piss off your neighbor, disappoint your mom, and until next time, keep on keeping on.